Could you please tell us what you see as the alternative, and if there are any examples of a well-functioning alternative, and how we would transition from our current system to that alternative?
Yeah, there's alternatives, just as there were alternatives to feudalism and slavery and to Bolshevism and fascism, namely dismantle the repressive institutions and place power in popular hands. As to the asking, is there a viable alternative to absolutist rule, that doesn't really mean much. It's like asking in the 18th century, is there a viable alternative to kings and princes? Well, you know, you couldn't point to one. You couldn't point to a parliamentary democracy in the 18th century. Did that mean you couldn't have parliamentary democracy? No, it didn't mean that. It meant you could have it, but you have to create it. How should production be organized? Well, you know, I don't think that's a trivial question to answer. You have to sort of experiment. But the principles ought to be, I think, pretty much the ones that were expressed by mill hands in Lowell a century ago. Those who work in the mills ought to own them. And they ought to carry out democratic decision-making about how they work in conjunction with communities who play a role as consumers and families and participants and so on. There are a lot of modalities in which that could be worked out, but I don't mind. I mean, there are people who in fact have sketched out detailed proposals. Personally, I'm a little skeptical. I don't think anyone's smart enough to design a society, at least I don't know how. But I think you have to sort of try, you know, try various things, see how they work, and so on.